back in the 60s. And I used to get criticized by, Sam Maloof and Wharton Esherick particularly, and George Nakashima would criticize me because of my use too much wood. That, in laminating you use lots of wood. And that I didn't really respect wood. And I respected it in a different way. I mean, Wharton Esherick and particularly George Nakashima really wanted these wonderful super grained boards. Well, I didn't want those. I appreciate wood in a different way. I appreciate it because it's a wonderful material to build with. And having a fancy grain isn't necessary. Sometimes it's fine, nothing wrong with it, but you don't have to have it because the form is what I really want people to see. May I tell a story? When I was young, like 12, 14, 15, I don't know the exact age, but it would be about around 1945 or 46. My father subscribed to a little magazine called Delta Craft. It was cheap, like 10 cents for a copy. And what that was is a little handyman kind of thing, and gave you projects to make and gave you the plans and all you needed to know to make this shelf or this birdhouse. And in one of those magazines, in I believe it was 46, there was an article on how to make a duck decoy. And what it showed was the cross sections of the body of the duck and the head, and gave you the plans. So you could cut out with your little coping saw, or jigsaw if you had one, and glue these all together. And you'd have this stair-step thing, just like we do, and you'd take a rasp and knock off the stair steps and get yourself a duck decoy. I thought that was really cool. But I never made a duck decoy. I had no reason to want a duck decoy. We didn't really have a workshop that capable of doing that. We had a few tools, but not enough to do that. Then when I was in college, many years later, studying sculpture, there was an article in one of the art magazines about a sculptor and how he went about his work. And he was a carver. And he would go to a millwork company and get them to glue up, I think usually out of mahogany, this big block of wood. So it'd be like 3 foot square and 8 foot high rectangle of wood, and then go to work carving. And when I saw that article and read that article, which I thought was pretty interesting, then I remembered the duck decoy, and I thought, he could have saved a ton of wood and a ton of time if he'd have planned each cross section. So I thought, well, I'll do that. I'll not glue up a rectangle of wood and start to carve. I will plan the cross sections so that the cross section through it at any given point is approximately correct. Well, I have all through my career given myself what might be considered a goal, that I want to have this level happen, and it will fulfill a certain thought I had. And I can remember one of the early goals I had was I kept thinking a lot about how would I know if my work was being appreciated, collected, exhibited, so on. How would I know if it was being appreciated the same as sculpture? And I thought, well, one thing that you can actually measure is how many dollars. Those other things are not measurable, but dollars are measurable.
today. If you ain't got the do-re-mi, boys, you ain't got the do-re-mi. You better let the beautiful Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Georgia, Tennessee, California's a garden to live. It's a paradise to live in or see, but believe it or not, you won't find it so hard if you ain't got the do-re-mi. Well, if you want to buy a home or farm that can do nobody harm, take a vacation by the mountains or the sea. Don't swap your old cow for a car, you'd better stay right where you are. Just take this little from me, 'cause I look through.
I mean, risk-taking is what it's all about, all the way. I mean, if you just, I mean, I have those, you saw those rules of thumb on the wall down there. The last one was, if you hit the bullseye every time, the target is too near. You got to keep moving that target out there. And the further you move it out, the more risk there is. But risk is what it's all about. And I think that risk plays such an important part. I mean, in my own mind, I have often likened it to a race car driver. I mean, if you're a race car driver and you're playing it safe, you're not going to win. You have to take risks to win. And I'm in this extremely fortunate position of having had the resilience to be around all this time and have learned so much about how I work, how I might work, how I do work, and I've learned enough about how galleries work and all those things. And I'm in the unique position that all these things are kind of coming together at the right time, in a sense. And it would have been nice earlier, of course. Maybe success and loneliness go together. It's probably not a subject I really even ever talked about, but I'm aware that it's there, but as I keep saying, it does not interfere. I think that a lot of things have to align for you to get what you really want out of the field. And pretty obvious what I want. I want to do well.
Sweetheart and my family are left in old hometown. I'm out to do the best I can as I go rambling around. My mother hoped that I would be a man of some there's a